Hello again, my name's David Holder, MC and creator of the Holistic Cancer Congresses. And it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Robin Kelly, who's one of the keynote speakers at the first HCC we had in Auckland in 2012, and by popular demand is back again for 2013. So I'd like to introduce you to Robin Kelly. Welcome, Robin.
Hi, David.
Great to see you
again.
again.
Great to be here. Good to be part of this.
Thank you. So, for some of the audience that won't know who you are, maybe you could just briefly introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm a medical doctor, as you know, who's been practicing for many years. I went to medical school in the 70s in England. After I qualified, I worked in cancer hospitals, radiotherapy and medical oncology. And when I came over here to wonderful New Zealand, I did the same in children's hospital. So I have a background in an interest in this from the medical side of things. When I went into general practice, however, I expanded my work by introducing acupuncture and studying Chinese medicine quite deeply in the 80s. And that led me on a journey to study mind-body medicine, connections, Ayurvedic medicine, and more recently trying to tie that up with the whole deeper understanding of the science of life, which is now including such amazing disciplines as quantum biology. We used to think the quantum world somehow was weird and only existed in laboratories between very, very small atoms and particles of light. But now we are aware and proving that this exists in the science of life and in our bodies as well.
Fantastic.
And I've been really fascinated in what this new research, which is so aligned with, I suppose, energy medicine and the understanding, ancient understanding from all cultures, what this will mean to us, to our understanding of the human body, but more importantly for this conference, what it means for chronic conditions like cancer, and how I suspect we can have a whole new approach that could eventually lead to much, much better outcomes when we're treating this condition.
Thank you. Now, Robin, you were one of the top presenters from feedback we had from the audience at the 2012 Congress. Some of the audience watching this DVD clip on the website now won't have seen your presentation, and I would encourage you to become a silver member, because if you do that, you can get copies of the 2012 entire Congress free as a once-off special. Maybe, Robin, you could just give us a little soundbite of what you talked about at the first Congress in 2012, just so for those that weren't there can appreciate where you're coming from.
Yes, well, I talked a bit about my backgrounds, because it's terribly important whenever you're listening to somebody is to put their information into context. It actually empowers the person to know how much to accept and how much to possibly leave. So I did go through my background, but also then showed some slides which show, I suppose, this new science in all its glory. So I talked about fractals and holograms, and also about this new work in quantum biology. But that was really the background, and hopefully that was entertaining. But the most important thing was, how was this going to be impact on us today? How we can use this information, this wisdom, this knowledge today, so that we can focus on healing, particularly from cancer. How does it affect us as individuals if we have this condition? Number one, because that's the most powerful of all the ways, is it's self-healing.
Sure.
And then as therapists, how does it affect us? And how does it help us have hope for the future? So this year I'm going to expand on that, because in fact there's tremendous work being done in these areas that have allowed people to gain far more insights into this.
Right.
And I'd have to say that it's shifting from really finding one cure of cancer, but to seeing how our world and our society impacts on us, and how I believe a change in this condition will come from an inner change within us, with our consciousness and from the public. the deeper essence of this change is compassion, self-compassion, but also living more naturally, living in the flow of nature.
Right.
But also understanding what stresses do to us, and how stresses impact on our bodies, impact on illness, and how they can impact on this condition we call cancer.
Right, excellent. Thank you for that summary. So, in essence then, at the 2013 Congress, you're going to be expanding this view. We had a discussion before this interview about the war on cancer. Could you expand on that and what you're going to be talking about more specifically at this Congress in 2013?
Well, the title of my talk is Peaceful Solutions, Seeking an End to the War on Cancer. Because for the last 40 years or so, we have been conducting a war of cancer, particularly in our profession. And we'd be using tools to actually annihilate the cancer, rather than, seeing as that, rather than have a deep understanding why this has developed in the first place. And the evidence is coming through, and the theories are strong from evolutionary biologists and from physicists and mathematicians, that it seems to be that there's a switching off of the genes that are in charge of us as multicellular organisms. Okay?
Right.
All the coordination that occurs in our bodies is somehow disrupted, and this allows very primitive genes to take over. So this is called an epigenetic effect, some effect that's happening to our bodies that is causing this change, that's switching off the usual organising pattern. Right. So primitive genes, and these primitive organisms, like 2 billion years ago, the Earth was occupied by organisms that were just singular cellular. Right. And the way they succeeded was by dividing, without a sort of thought, if you like, for the environment. And you can see the similarity of what's happening in cancer. So somehow this regulatory process that we have to coordinate our cells is being switched off. And I'm going to be talking about what could be the causes of that, but more importantly, what we can do, not only to treat this when we have it, but as important, to prevent this happening in the first place, and why this is such a huge topic.
Excellent.
And so I hope seeking an end to the war of cancer, looking for peaceful solutions, a deep understanding of this condition is the next step, and will provide much deeper answers.
Wonderful. So I see your talk will very much dovetail with Dr. Bruce Lipton's, one of the foremost epigeneticists in the world, who again is joining us for the second HCC in March in Auckland. So Robin, that's fantastic. That's going to add a real dimension from a holistic medical viewpoint of what causes cancer and how we can intercept that process somehow with therapeutic interventions that are holistic in nature and really get to the core cause rather than just treating symptoms.
Yes, and these won't just be a therapist and the person who has this condition. This is also going to involve the community, the inner community, the loved ones, the friends, because we're talking about conditions that separate, and we talk about science. The old science was talking about the science of separation. It almost separated us as therapists from the person. Well, we know this isn't true. We know that we're all connected. We're talking about the new science of connectedness. So that means that we're all in this together. And that it almost sees the therapist as a coordinator. Now this is what my work is more and more coordinating a team.
Certainly mine is,
And anybody in that team is deeply honoured to be part of that team, and mustn't be like the person in an orchestra who's out of tune. You have to be the person. We all have to be in harmony and agree. This is hugely important. This isn't just a gentle, nice way of thinking. This is going to be essential for for us in future, working this way. So that's just one example of one way that we can start coordinating this. And there's no conflict, I think, between the good doctors and the good natural therapists in this. Because I believe we all want to work in harmony, and harmony is the name of the game when we're actually...
Well said, well said. Sounds like your talk's going to be a game changer. I look forward to it.
Well, I hope so, and as you know from David, from these conferences, we learn so much.
We do.
We learn from the people that are coming. It's so essential that the people that come in provide us with insights. Everybody that we see provides a new angle to this as well. Indeed. So I think this is going to be a collaborative effort.
Sure, thank you very much. Now, one last question for Robin, because many of you may understand that Robin's also a very accomplished musician. And last Congress, we were very blessed to have him perform his Human concert, which he's doing again, expanded, for us on the Saturday night as an optional extra if you attend the Congress. Robin, can you give us a little snippet of Human? Just tell us a bit about what that inspired that in you.
Yeah.
Because it's a multimedia presentation, not just you singing a guitar.
It's multimedia presentation, sorry. And I've been a singer-songwriter, musician for many years. In fact, I became probably more creative in my songwriting when I started to meditate and understand more about consciousness, and it seems to be part of the process. So I really encourage everybody that I'm seeing to tap into their creative side, and everybody has one. But this is a lot of fun, and it's a presentation of some of my music that actually mirrors what I call the shamanic process, which is the sort of growth of our awareness here, and consciousness, our deeper healing. And there are some songs that are probably sad, and others that are funny. I have a slideshow I go along with it, and I vary it from time to time. I've written some new songs which are pertinent to recent events in this world, and I hope to present those, and people sing along and dance and I don't know, kiss, cuddle,
enjoy,
cry, laugh, whatever they want to do. I totally believe that healing is a creative process. I believe in the power of music to bring people together, like the power of laughter. And I love doing this, so thank you for the opportunity.
Right. Well, look, we have some treats in store, obviously, and if you do want to take advantage of the concert, there's only 100 tickets available. A third of them have already gone, so do click on the website. There's a separate button you can press to go to the concert on the Saturday night. And we really look forward to seeing you at the Congress. There's going to be more interviews on the website with the different speakers. Click on those and you'll get to hear from the other speakers what they're going to be talking about, so it can enhance your understanding both as a practitioner and as a patient or as an interested person who wants to know more about the cutting edge with cancer. Thank you very much, Robin.
Thank you, David.
I look forward to hearing you talk.
Thank you very much.